Welcome to Life Workshop, where we discuss the forgotten basics. My name is Mohammed Azhari, and I'm your favorite host, in case you didn't know that. And I have with me these two young people. One is Trenton,
Hello.
there's, and the other one is Mia, which is in incognition, and that is not her real name. She's a teenager, but I would like to have their perspective, so that is why. So we have teenager, somebody who just came out of the teenager, and me, which I used to be a teenager. But anyway, so the subject that we are going to be talking about today is entertainment and excitement. Why is it important? You will find out. Because if we know how is a healthy entertainment or excitement, we can repeat it. And some of the entertainment and excitement that we have in life, it might sound fun at the time, but afterwards, it doesn't feel that way as much. So if we can recognize this, then we can have a better control on in our life, and we are going to have that thing that they say we have a more intentional life versus going with the flow. So to begin with, I'm going to just quickly explain what the definition of entertainment. What is entertainment? Entertainment is something that holds your attention, as simple as that. That when you're watching something, when you're eating, when you're listening, when you're doing a certain activity, you're in the moment. You're not thinking about the future. You're not worrying about the past. You're not even aware of the circumstances, around you. Of course, that's the ultimate thing. And actually, in psychology, they have a term for this. It's called a state of flow. And a state of flow is which you're really in the moment and you forget about everything else. The closer you get to that, normally people are happier and they feel more relaxed. So that is entertainment. And sometimes we can do it on our own, which if we could do that, that would be awesome. Then we can be a lot happier. Sometimes we use an external, things that we use, for example, music or again, entertainers that, they get our attention. And then, so if they can do a good job, then we pay for it. And then the other one is excitement. Excitement, again, is a part of the entertainment, but in this one, it provokes some sort of excitement, but entertainment itself is more relaxing. This is a general, understanding of it, and I don't want to go into details because I'm not a philosopher and I don't want to act like one, but the gist of it is as simple as what I just said. Now, the question is, how do you entertain yourself? Let's start with Trenton.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to entertaining myself, there's kind of a few things that I do personally, and that's I like to watch movies and TV shows, right? That's one of my kind of main things that I do. Another thing that I do where to entertain myself with my friends would be like video games or maybe even going out to the bar to go grab some drinks or something like that. So that's kind of one of the biggest ways that I entertain myself, right? So
How does it feel afterwards or
well,
during and after?
it depends on what it is, right? When it comes to like movies and TV shows, there'll be like one of the maybe when you finish the series is like maybe I didn't need to watch that one, right? Like you get through it all and it just has a terrible ending. And you're just like that was just a whole 12 episodes wasted from the whole season, right? So sometimes it can feel bad, sometimes it can feel good, depending on how it goes, right? And for me, with if when I'm hanging out with my friends, depends how crazy we are. Like we're at the bar and we're having a good time. Obviously, in the moment, it feels amazing, but maybe that next morning will not feel as amazing, and that might just carry on through the rest of the day where I'm feeling groggy or something like that. So
So, which part of it do you think plays a bigger role in that entertainment? Is that your company, or for example, the drinking part of it, or the movie?
oh, it's
Can you
definitely
do
the
that on your own?
well. I don't drink on my own. I don't think I'd find any enjoyment during that.
Okay.
If it was with I think it's more along the lines with company, right? Like sometimes I like to enjoy a movie by myself because sometimes may not protrude to the other person with the
Mhm.
genre, right? I have my own kind of genres that I like to tend to, and sometimes that isn't along the lines of what other people like to enjoy as well. So when it comes to those movies, I do enjoy them by myself, and but usually if it's with company, that's what makes it the best, right? If you're surrounding yourself with those people that you're having a fun time with, it just makes it that much more enjoyable, right? It makes it that much more entertaining and stuff like that. So
Mhm. Mia, what about you? What is entertaining? How do you entertain yourself?
Well, usually I like to like lean more towards like doing sports or like working out or just like even just going on a walk with like a friend or something.
Very interesting. As a general rule, normally they say, or we consume entertainment or we create it. So the one that you said, Trenton, it was more of a
oh,
consuming it.
consume. Oh yeah, yeah.
And Mia, the one that you said, it is more of a creating it with the sports. And
Mhm.
there is room and place for everybody, everything and anything. But again, and one thing that Trenton, you mentioned, it is more about the people often
Yes, yeah,
versus the activity itself.
yes, 100%.
So if you are aware of that, potentially we can, be careful and basically repeat that.
Yes.
Because can you, for example, have the same entertainment without the drinking part?
Oh, 100% you can. Yes,
Mhm.
yeah.
Because
And
sometimes
there's times we
Mhm.
do that without the drinking, right, or without alcohol being
How
involved.
often is that one though?
Uh, Not as often as it probably could be, if I'm being
This is
honest
the
with
thing.
you.
Some of the things sometimes really they are
Yeah,
depleting it actually. And I
because
understand. Don't take me wrong. Personally, I
no,
drink as
no,
well,
no. It's yeah.
but I'm not
But you
against it.
do raise a good question. You do raise a good
Yeah,
question there.
you know. And then personally, I do drink. I don't drink much at all. I drink on empty stomach. That is another giveaway, just to get a buzz very quick. But
Yeah,
that is it. Uh, but this is the thing. Sometimes that drinking part, when you say, to be honest, it takes away actually some of the stuff.
yeah,
Versus obviously it takes away your money,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
definitely part of your health,
yeah.
and sometimes the wisdom.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
And you can have a lot of fun without any of the above.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah.
And we do, like you said, like without the alcohol, like we can definitely do stuff like that as well, right? Like, we do. Me and my buddies, we sign up for like this ball hockey league, so we do go out there every Monday and Wednesdays, just or sometimes Monday, Thursdays, and have a good time with that too, right? So staying physically active, but me with my bad knee, it's kind of difficult sometimes, but
Mhm. And Mia, now back to you again. So, any other things that you do? Are you able to keep entertained most of the time, or do you get bored?
Um, I mean like sometimes I get bored and then I lean to what you said earlier, like consuming entertainment by like
Mhm.
listening to music, reading, watching a movie, stuff like that.
Okay. Which is a very normal thing. Actually, I should
Hmm.
say entertainment is done normally, they say, in these three different categories. Sometimes you have had a bad day or too much work, and then you come home, you need to relax. And that
Hmm.
is cool. You can listen to music, something, whatever that rocks your boat, and just relax. But if it is really because you get stressed all the time, maybe you can address the problem. Why do you get stressed? So it's very important to be aware that, why we do what we do, then take action against it, or towards it, I should say. So if you're getting stressed too much, why do you get stressed? Prevent before treatment. So that is one type of entertainment. The other one is boredom. When we are bored, obviously, we just randomly go and watch some of this stuff. But then the third one is really to elevate, to go a little bit higher up. For example, we have a good life. We are not bored. We want to make life even better than that. And then that's another one. One thing I personally do, which I would recommend it, I normally have a to-do list. I call it to do. But the things that I want to learn, they are the things that I'm interested at. And then as soon as I feel bored, Mia, I refer to those to say, oh, maybe I can do this one. And then I watch or listen or do something about that, And there are, to be honest, a lot of interesting information online. And, you can use that. Or, for example, books to read or articles, or there are lots of things out there that, that way I keep entertained and in a healthy way most of the time. So I don't want to sound like, I'm doing this all the time. Time to time, I don't want to hear anything. I just play the music. Yeah, you don't want to learn every time. You want to just relax. But what about the excitement now? With the definition that really it just, lifts you up and you want to do something. What does excite you, Trenton?
What excites me?
Hmm.
Oh goodness. Well, I really don't know how to answer that, honestly. Like I don't know. It's like for me, I was a big sports guy growing up, right? So like when you watch football or stuff like that, or you watching your favorite sports team or stuff like that, it kind of feels like you're kind of part of the team, or like you're like that whole fan base kind of makes you feel like a family and stuff like that. So when you're watching them and everyone's cheering for the team, it kind of gets you excited a little bit, right? Like whenever, like I said, when we go to a friend's house or like drink a little bit, we'll watch maybe a football game or something like that, and some of us cheer for the same sports team. So we'll sit down and then all of a sudden they score a goal and that just gets everyone kind of excited. Like you're kind of part of the team, right? So that kind of is what I would see is creating excitement for me.
Again, that was consuming excitement.
Oh, it is consuming, but if you're talking about like creating kind of excitement instead of consuming, right? I mean, I don't really do too much anymore. It's probably me making an excuse now, right? Because like I have a bad knee, so as much as I want to exercise and do stuff like that or go for runs, it can be painful at times.
I'm a
Like
physio. You should talk to me about your bad knee.
like so like I have this brace and stuff like that, and it does help, right? But it like my knee sometimes limits me in certain things that I can do. So because sometimes it can be painful if I go for a run or if I do leg workout, it can be troublesome at times, and the last thing I want to do is to take pain meds, right? So to create that kind of thing, like our ball hockey, for example, right? Those games are like 40 to 45 minutes long. So if I can do that for 40 to 45 minutes, it'll hurt afterwards, but in the moment, it's just so worth it, right? But just afterwards,
Trenton,
a little bit of ice.
Trenton, shall I bring the violin here?
Yeah. Feels like it. Feels like it. Yeah.
You can address the problem. Trust me. I'm a
Yeah. Yeah.
physiotherapist by profession. You can even talk to me over the phone. Probably I can give you some, hints what to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
No, definitely you want to address the problem. Then
Yeah.
you will run out of this excuse. Then you should come up with a different one
Yeah. Yeah.
or creating. But Mia,
Yeah.
you
No,
mentioned
it is mostly. Yeah. Sorry.
that's okay. But Mia, you mentioned that you were not a consumer of entertainment as much the way that you said it, which is good. But what about the excitement? First of all, do you find, because we had a conversation with this young lady some time ago, and I asked, is your life exciting? What is exciting in your life? She said, nothing. I said, what do you mean by nothing? Is it boring? She said, yeah. I said, are you kidding me? She said, no. And then I was wondering, is your answer different today?
Yes, it is. I don't know,
It's like,
like since the last time I talked to you, I feel like I've stepped like a lot outside my comfort zone. I've been trying a lot of new things, and I feel like that like brings more excitement. It gives me like that like anxious, excited feeling. It's like not know how
I
something's gonna turn out.
I love it. To be honest, you made my day. Because we had this conversation. I said, no, excitement, we can create it. And the lots of it is a little bit by rocking the boat. That is exciting. And I'm not saying do it intentionally and just for the sake of, being, I don't know, uh, being bad. But if there is a reason, for example, when it comes to excitement, personally, I'm suing my bank right now. And the court date is in a month and a half from now. That is very exciting. I'm doing it for good reason. I'm doing it for a very good reason. I have done a podcast about that. If somebody's interested, go watch it. And I love the thing that I'm doing. I believe it's the right thing to do. But I'm going out of my comfort zone, exactly the word that you just used, Mia. Uh, and sometimes, for example, we do this, and sometimes we are going to screw up. We are going to screw up. So be ready. You're going to screw up. And that is how it works. But then as you do more of it, you learn how not to screw up as much, and you learn how to fail. It's an amazing thing to fail. I'm not saying go intentionally do something to fail, but if it happens, so be it. You don't back off. The resilience goes up. You know, I should just throw this very quickly. I think it's a Chinese proverb. They say it doesn't matter how many times you fall, it matters how many times you get back up. And unfortunately, I think nowadays, because of the way that the culture is, that we have changed it, it has been done all with good intentions, but it's a very bad performance. And the good intention is be nice, not be kind. They say be nice. You know, everybody's the best. We have talked about this. Everybody's the most beautiful, the smartest. I don't know. It is ridiculous, as if you should be that. Otherwise, you're not okay. And if you're the second best, you already suck. You know, I think that has taken, and then when we do this, there is no friction. For example, Mia, I'm hoping that you're doing this, that with friends, if they screw up, you just tell them. I mean, in a nice way, in a kind way, I should say, but not just to back them up. You want to jump off the rock? Oh, that's a very good idea. How did you come up with that idea? You know, we don't want to do that. And this kind of friction is just part of excitement. I find it exciting. Some people, they might find it, I don't know, an anxiety, but I don't think so. I don't get anxious about it. I get excited. For example, for my suing my bank, I can't wait till the court date to see what happens. But again, it's all a state of mind. Mia, I would like you to explain a little bit more. So you said that that is one thing about the excitement. So do you find that it's becoming really more exciting too?
Well, well, yeah. Like, I don't know, just like trying new things is like it makes you anxious, like not anxious, more like excited about the outcome because it could
Mhm.
go any which way. But if you're doing something that you often do, then you like have an idea of how it's gonna end up.
You know, I really like the choice of words, like anxious, anxiety, and you know, it can be anxious or sorry, exciting. You know, it can be either and or, but the view that we have, it can change one from to the other.
Mhm.
And I'm sure, I don't know, maybe I'm not sure. You have heard this. They say every day you should do something that scares you. That's a very important thing. You become braver. A lot of this is just a state of mind, the way that you think about that. If you think about the challenge as difficult, then it is difficult. But if a challenge, it gives you something to work towards too. So it's just the way that we word it, and it's very important to word it the right way. And to think when you feel something, this is very important. Again, I'm gonna now, any feelings that you have, you should really do your best to put a proper words towards it and be honest with your feelings. And then see, can you switch it to a positive way? So if you become anxious, you can say that I'm anxious. I have that anxiety. But this can be very exciting, and then how can I do that? Yes, it is, for example, a situation is difficult, and face it for real. But then at the same time think, how can I look at it as a challenge versus difficulty? So you want to be honest with yourself. It's not that you cannot just fool yourself. That's not how it works. But at the same time, to see what's that twist. And it's just a state of mind, how you think about that. And if you don't know how to do it, ask, talk to others, especially somebody who is a bit more knowledgeable about this stuff. But even talking about it will make you more aware of it. You will find the way on your own. But again, so when it comes to the excitement, again, is this that, we can just not to be that much of a consumer of excitement, we can create it. For example, I know that personally myself, I bring up a lot of these topics and I push people and I have over time. So Mia, this is for you. I have screwed up several times. I have pissed people off and it has happened. But I have learned over time how far to push. Again, I screw up, but nothing close to as many as I had done before. But at the same time, my life is actually, I was hoping you guys would return and ask me that question, but you didn't. So I'm going to ask myself this question. What makes my own life exciting? For example, when a subject like this thing I want to talk about, and I go ask people, and sometimes I poke them. And it's amazing the things that people share with you and how much you can learn from it. And I don't necessarily need to I don't have, I mean, I have a TV hanging on the wall, but I never ever, I mean, I have disconnected my TV for the past 8 years, 9 years, and I don't miss it at all. Anyways.
Wish I could say the same. Here, I'll move it up. There's
No, and to be honest, life is really good, in honesty, and especially when I do the podcast. That is one of the main reasons I do the podcast. It makes myself, I push myself, I challenge myself, not difficulty, but I challenge myself to go and study a bit more, to learn a bit more. I structure it in a proper way, and all of these challenges, I find it not only exciting, that makes my life better it makes it more exciting, but also I learn from it. So some of the things that I'm saying right now, I haven't done before. So, for example, personally, believe it or not, we talked about social media addiction in the previous episode. Personally, I've never been addicted. I never allowed that to happen. But I had noticed that for some time, I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I do, my hand goes for the phone. And then before I know it, I check a few things, and then I'm on a social media, and then I'm seeing stuff that said, what am I doing? Yes, it is entertaining, but it's a waste of my time. What did I learn out of it? And sometimes some people they said, oh, there are lots of good information out there. My question is that what do you do with that information? Because of that, actually, a friend, said that, are you a life coach? I said, don't give me that thing. No. One thing that I think I'm a very practical, curious person. And practical curiosity that I promote is being curious about a space is interesting. But what does it solve for you in your daily life? So it's not a practical part, it's just curiosity. But I'm more of a practical curiosity, which is the things that relates to my life. And I would encourage people to think about that, to be more aware. I mean, there is a room and place for that one too, don't take me wrong. And I have done that personally before. One thing that has been good, I have watched tons of documentaries about everything and anything. So that becomes a conversation subject. So if I'm somewhere and somebody talks about almost anything, I know a little bit about that. So there is that advantage to it. Don't take me wrong. But I think there is more benefit if your curiosity is directed as well. Again, an intentional curiosity, that where I want to spend my time and energy, what am I getting for it? So anyway, when it comes to the excitement, and again, entertainment, if we think about that, We can create it. And I believe, they say in the past when I was your age, we didn't have internet. Those things didn't exist. So we had nothing but to be self-entertaining ourselves. But nowadays, because of so much being out there, we have become more of a consumer. We consume entertainment. It's like, cooking versus ordering. And unfortunately, that has become the case. And again, there's some good and bad things about it, but I think good to be aware that, how much of it we are consuming, how much of it we are creating. It's a very good idea to be able to do that. Um, and self-entertainment, again, I'll say something that we need to address. But even when it comes to that, can we do it in a healthy way? That's the question. And the healthy way would be even self-entertainment. For example, some people, they say they're interested in fixing cars. But sometimes, for example, they break the car to fix it, or they do some stuff. But really, you could probably think about it a bit differently if you go be more productive with that curiosity. Get a car, fix it, sell it, or fix somebody else's car. You know, it will provide the same thing, but it's more productive versus just entertaining, only entertaining. So there are a few things that I said, if you start thinking about it, probably that awareness help us, to direct it a bit better. That's all I'm trying to say. Um, Anybody wants to jump in, say something?
No, yeah, like you got a good point there. Like for me personally, I'm someone who really can't sit still, right? Like I need to be stimulated by something. Like um and sometimes I can fall into where like with entertainment, like you said, where like back then there was no internet, so you had to do self-entertainment, right? And right now we're in a position where entertainment is more accessible than ever, right? When it comes to our phones electronically wise, right? Like for me with movies or TV shows like that, like I gotta have something stimulating my mind. And with Mia reading books, I can visualize things when I read, right? I'm just reading words on pages, right? I can't see stuff in my mind when people read. Like I have friends who read and they tell me all the time how they enjoy books because they can visualize that stuff, but I can't. All I see here is like words on paper. So that's why I like to watch movies or TV shows based off the books, right? Because then I can actually see it through my eyes, right? Instead of trying to visualize it, right? So that's kind of why I'm more of a consumer rather than like other stuff like that,
Of
right?
course, I'm sorry, I'm jumping in, but I'm sure you
No,
can
no.
do it in some other ways that, again, you can create your own. I'm a very visual
Oh yeah,
person.
yeah. No, like there's obviously ways of creating on their own. Like we had this conversation too. Like I love nature, right? Like even behind you with those trees, right? Like I love going on hikes. Like me and my sister, we go on hikes all the time, right? And stuff like that. So I do love doing stuff on my own or like with people to create that entertainment, right? And I try to do that as much as possible. But like I said, I'm someone who needs to be stimulated all the time. That's the same thing when you said you woke up in the morning, you look right to your phone. As soon as I wake up, I need to get doing something. I can't just lay there in bed. I can't just sit there. I need to get up, get going, do something. Whether that's making my bed or getting up and like having food or stuff like that. I need to be stimulated at like all times.
Actually, you're saying that I know that in, I think South Korea, it is that they have started this thing that they put their phone away and they try to do absolutely nothing and think about
Yeah.
nothing.
See, that would make me go insane. That would make me go
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I don't know if I can do that person. I like
Yeah,
to have
yeah,
some sort of a stimulation all the time. But again, and I'm not necessarily, I haven't thought about it. I haven't read anything specific to know if it's good or bad. But I don't see any problem if you need a stimulant all the time.
yeah,
The only part that I'm saying that I would personally encourage people to do is that make sure it's a productive one.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
productive one would be, again, For example, person says, I make a to-do list,
Yeah.
and then and I have it on my phone all the time. So if as soon as I get bored, as soon as I have a bit of a time, I immediately go and search something, ask AI some question, I read, I do something. For
Yeah.
creating that, I get together personally with friends very frequently, go for walks. Again, normally have very interesting conversation. And we poke each other too. Mia,
Yeah.
this
Oh
is for
yeah.
you. I'm not gonna, yeah, we are not like, oh, you're the best and this thing. No, no, you suck, and I'm better than you.
Oh, that's the best way to bond. That's the best way to bond, though. We do that all the time.
Yeah, I should tell you this. Sometimes I say some jokes that I like it more than anybody else. The other day, a buddy of mine, he works at it. Say, hey, buddy, do you lift weights? He said, yeah. I said, obviously, they are light weights. He did not like my joke. I did. But anyways, as a general, I don't know, but in all seriousness, we do those things, and because of that, yeah, this is mainly for you because you're a kind of younger yet, and probably I don't know, maybe it is a bit of a more of a foreign concept that, oh my God, you told somebody that it is this. Yeah, we do that all the time. Actually, I never forget. I had one of my clients. She was a younger person. I said something that I had a thing with my buddy that he said something. Then she said, are you guys friends yet? I said, why not? I couldn't understand that seriously. That is how the friends are. We have disagreements for sure. We express ourselves for sure. And sometimes we lose a little bit, and that's just fine. Sometimes we cross the line. That is how it works. This is that buffering zone. It must be there. Otherwise, we would not have a society. Then everybody would be living very much isolated. And actually, that is what has happened, I think, even now. That when we don't banter, we don't take, we want to be nice and don't say anything because I'm responsible for how you feel, which is absolutely wrong. You're responsible for your feeling, I'm responsible for mine. Yes, if I wanted to be an asshole and go too far, then that's a different story. But often people aren't that. So, anyways, I went too far. I know I got off the topic. But entertainment and those kind of things, sometimes this is as simple as that. That makes life a lot more exciting. Just having a conversation with friends. When you say something and you don't agree with each other, sometimes you try to solve it or convince the other party. Sometimes it just doesn't work. And that's it. So if you don't mind, I'm going to recap kind of very quickly what we have said. So entertainment, in honesty, because this has been another question for myself, why entertainers, the movie stars and these people, why do they make that much money? But really, entertainment at the end of the day is this. The thing that you do or self-created or consumed, that it takes you out of, basically you're just focused in the moment and you forget about the past, future, and the surrounding. Actually, this is one reason that some of the people who suffer from depression, that they want to get out of it, they resort to extreme sports. Because with extreme sports, you don't have the option of thinking about anything else. And they have to think, these mountain climbers, especially untethered ones, it's a very, very dangerous sport. And very frequently you see that people that they suffer from depression, they do that. And if you learn how to do that on your own, you will be a happier person. Happy people get into this state of flow. We call it entertainment. A lot easier. They stay there longer. Another thing is that you basically, if you learn how to focus on something, not multitask. It's not multitasking. Normally, I say it's a multi-fuck up things. Multitasking is only for mindless jobs that you can do that. But if you learn how to focus on what you're doing, it will make you happier. It's a matter of learning to really zoom in. Even, for example, this conversation that we have, really focus on this. and nothing else. It's a matter of practice. I would strongly encourage everybody to do that. This would be a big, honestly, game changer that when you get into the moment, that state of flow, you will feel a lot better. And everything, needless to say, that the conversations, they become more genuine. Needless that, for example, if you're listening to somebody, really you're paying attention, then that will make the other person feel better. And it just has a lot of advantages and yourself, Of course, I'm not saying you can fake it or something that you're not interested in. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're interested in a subject, make sure to focus on it. That state of flow. So that is entertainment. Excitement, I said, is a sort of entertainment, but that is something that obviously provoke, some exciting moments. And both of them can be created or can be consumed. And then it's a good idea to be able to create it on your own, that creating the excitement, as I said, this bantering back and forth, sometimes taking a jab at each other is okay. And as I said, Mia, we are going to screw up. I have done several of it, but you know what? It's a good thing. But I know that our society, unfortunately, is moving the other way. That we are supposed to be nice and think that to be honest, I'm very disappointed with that. And that is why actually I think our new generation, they don't have, I think you guys do not have as exciting life as we did, although you have a much better life than we did in the past. And then Mia, as you, I'm hope I understood you right. As you start to do that, life becomes a bit more exciting. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So the answers are very short. But yeah, it is a very interesting thing that if they start to do that. And again, so that is for the entertainment. But if for example, I said you have had a bad day, you see that really you're stressful to, I want to again recap. If you see that you have been very stressed and now you're going to listen, I don't know, to music or something, if you get stressed very frequently, then you want to address that problem, that why you get so stressed. Address the problem. Prevention, you know, before treatment. So anyway, these two, one thing that I would like to focus again, I repeat, and I have said this before, and probably you will get sick of me, hearing this over and over. I normally encourage at the end of the night, before you go to bed, before you sleep, think how your day was. I would recommend this thing. What did you learn? What made you feel good? And what made you feel bad? If you understand that for learning, because really you want to learn, that's a very good thing. And learning again something that's more helping you versus something that is just curiosity. It's good. It's better than nothing. But then what makes you feel bad is the most important. Because again, if you can prevent making you feel bad, I normally say one bad exceeds 10 good. And if you can prevent that, already you're ahead a lot more. So instead of trying to make your life better, first thing, what is making your life worse? Remove that first. Then worry about what makes your life better. So if what makes you feel bad, think about that. And if it is you, then change your state of mind. It was a difficult time, challenging. I got anxiety about this. Well, this is kind of actually exciting. Then, so again, those words to change and the view, of course, to go with it. And the other thing is that if it is the environment that made you feel bad, see, can you change it? If it's the other party that's really is another person or something that is really, making your day worse, eliminate them if you can. So again, it goes back to prevention first, the thing that they make you feel bad, remove them. And if you start thinking about these things on a regular basis, you will see you can make small changes. And those small changes, amazing how much difference it makes. And then what makes you feel good? If you understand what makes you feel good, then you can repeat it. For example, where Trenton, you said that you get together with friends and having a drink. Analyze it. Which part of it was the good part, the drinking part or the friends part?
Yeah.
In a very simplistic way, and focus on that. And really, you can be very honest. did the drinking part add to it or remove from it? And if it did add, it's cool. But be honest with your.
It's yeah. It sometimes adds. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
No, sometimes it
It
does.
sometimes it does. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes it does. I agree. But again, you want to just think about that and be very honest with your own feeling, and then see that how you can do it that is better than before. Because every time there is some room for improvement. And again, one question I want to leave everybody with, and that is when you go to places or you do stuff, you want to think, is that the places and the stuff that you do is important, or the people that you have done that stuff with, or you're doing activities with? Is the people or the thing? And I understand sometimes, no, it can be the thing. For example, if you love nature or something. But in the big picture, to see which one is which. And then if we can differentiate those, we can repeat it. What makes you feel good? Repeat it. What makes you feel bad? Definitely we want to focus on that one again. How can you avoid it? Anything you guys want to add in here?
Um, I don't think there's really anything necessarily to add. I think you kind of nailed it there at the end there. But I know, like, just for me speaking, like with entertainment wise and stuff like that, like I think I search for entertainment because of the fact that like you kind of crave it a little bit, right? Like you want to be excited, you want to be like happy, right? And then you were going on about saying at the end of the day what makes you feel bad. To me, I don't think really anything makes me feel bad. I like to think of myself as a happy person, right? So, and I'm never in a situation where it'll make me feel bad in a sense of things. Like, yeah, you always try to find the happiness in everything, right? So that's what I always try to accomplish, is to find the happiness in everything you do, right? So
Actually, I think of you. Actually, you seem like a happy person. But again, you want to see, is this thing adding to it or deducting from it?
yeah,
That's all.
yeah,
And I'm not saying either way. It's just something to think about,
yeah,
because I have run into that situation before. And I would like at another time, of course, to do another podcast about joy,
yeah,
because where we call joy, but that's another podcast.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
uh, thank you too for taking part in this podcast, and thanks everyone for listening. I would like to finish the podcast as always when we say, I say, life is simple. We make it complicated. Think about these things. Life is pretty good. See you guys next time. Bye now.